In recent years, Kenya is generally considered a relatively safe haven country for persons with albinism within the East African community, which is a major milestone for the country at large. Also, the government has made efforts to facilitate better health standards for persons with albinism. However, medical research conducted in 2017 concluded that some types of cutaneous malignancies are common among persons with albinism in the country, suggesting a moderate lack of access to healthcare, particularly appropriate sunscreen and medical checkups. Little systematic research has been undertaken to identify the full range of obstacles which persons with albinism in the country face, and through these, Black Albinism, in association with National Democratic Initiative (NDI), have gelled in together so as to advocate for people with albinism and the whole disability fraternity. As they all gathered in pomp and color for the roundtable talk, their main mission was to coordinate efforts with the Nairobi County government so as to have enough resources put in place for them, improving the factors on advocacy for albinism.
We as Black Albinism, our main aim is first to discover greatness in people with albinism, and not only in people with albinism but the entire disability fraternity. We do empower people with albinism and other people with disability through their talent, and also we advocate for their rights and also for their economic and social and political empowerment of people with disability, but mostly for people with albinism.
With these talks put in place, they mainly focused on the budgetary processes, pinpointing key priority areas for budget allocations in the county.
Our mission here today is to lobby the Nairobi County government to gather resources and support people with albinism, in terms of employment, also in other avenues, policy making, to engage them, like in barazas, to ensure there's people with albinism, they do have participation, and also for us to participate in county activities, motions, and also generally or basically or in a nutshell, the county amendment policies and the daily business of the county, we should also be or get involved.
There are at least 3 civil society groups in Kenya, all of which have carried out vigorous public awareness and advocacy events around albinism. The advocacy of the Albinism Society of Kenya, among others, led to the establishment of the Albinism Program. In addition, civil society, with the support of the government, have jointly carried out awareness-raising activities such as Mr. and Mrs. Albinism Kenya and various celebrations of International Albinism Awareness Day. Even with these accomplishments put in place, there are some loopholes that are being witnessed as most of their needs are not being met.
So my name is Nathaniel Mudhomi. I'm a consultant in the field of disability to help organizations for persons with disabilities to come up with the programs that are inclusive and friendly to persons with disabilities. My firm is called Wisena Consultancy Limited. We have some strategic issues that we want to communicate to the Nairobi City government, Nairobi City NCCG, so that they can include the issues of persons with disabilities in the current planning that they are doing. Because they are doing CIDP, the County Integrated Development Plans, and then after that what will follow is the Annual Development Plan, and already the budget making cycle is in progress.
When it comes to matters health and business, the Sunscreen Support Program and the Business Support Program has plenty to be accomplished by the government so as to ease the enforced structures as they cater for their needs.
The issue of health, where we know that persons with albinism, their main concern is their skin. So the National Albinism Sunscreen Support Program supports the county governments to distribute the sunscreen lotions. But then there's a way that, because healthcare is an universal right, There's a way the county government can supplement these or complement this effort by the national government so that they can allocate more resources for the National Albinism Sunscreen Support Program through the health program. So that is another issue that we are trying to lobby for.
We are calling them priority issues. So according to our group,
damage our body instead of keeping our body.
Even as education is a right with no prejudice to a particular child or adult, and therefore necessary steps need to be taken to enhance the learning process of a person with albinism or a child with albinism CWA. The education sector has bridges to cross to meet them halfway so as to ensure a smooth transition of an adequate education channel.
Another point is the issue of education. We know education is early childhood education is a devolved function.
life, he does not understand you when you go to, let's say, to get food, when you are making the line, maybe the sun is so scorchy. When you want to pass, they tell you, no, make a line like the other pupils. Why do you want to pass the line? And you can see, are these not human beings who are standing here? You find it hard, like you have to go and find a shade somewhere. When the line is over, you'll come to be the last. Maybe you have already wasted a lot of time. You could have gone and studied something. That's also a challenge. Another thing is how the teacher understands persons with disability. Like you can tell a teacher something and then it's like, no, if this person can do, why can't you do?
They are poor. When we look at feeder roads, they are poor. Water, it's another problem. And I want to focus with people with disability, and I want to empower youth and women so that we can build Githurai to be great.
With the various stakeholders at play, the conference had plenty of aspects to look keenly into.
NDI is an international organization
watching TV 47, the home of untold stories. Entrepreneurs around the country are creatively grinding.
I started with a borrowed phone.
A borrowed phone?
Yeah, that could last 2 hours with charge.
We just have to do quality work for them.
To make their mark in an unpredictable market.
It was now going on a sales venture,
looking for stockists door to door.
On the Grind, we bring you their stories so you can tell yours. Every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
For the budget cycle, plenty of steps have to be taken into consideration. Here is a full breakdown scope in regards to the process.
I want us to understand in the county budget. So that unaona vile watu wanakuwa ngumu kuelewa hizi mambo ya physical strategy, unai break down sasa into Executives, ndio? Wanapeana sasa kwa governor. Ndio? Speaker amepea nani? Governor. Afanye kuimplement. Na hapo ndio stage 3. Sawa? Hapa inakuanga rahisi sana. For implementation, they just require 4 things. And then the last step ni kuandika kitu inaitwa County Budget Review and Outlook. Sasa ni report ya
then pia watu wajui most mnakuja mnatoa bicycle imeshapita then mnaambua nyinyi ndio mkukuja.
Government inafaa kuleta a way of awareness even to private companies so that they can understand these people. Unakuta mtu tuseme it's a customer care service, kuna zile incoming calls, kuna outbound, and they wanajaza zile trackers. So unakuta zile trackers za zingine zinakuanga na majina kama ya gazeti. Ukiangalia gazeti unaweza angalia, unasoma, unakuta yote imeshikana. But the other person ameshasoma vizuri yake, amesoma vizuri, so ile time huwezi linganisha time yako na ya yule mtu ambaye ako normal.
Kwa gava maybe hata tukuje kwa duty bearers wale wako chini, tuanze na kina chiefs, tupate msemo mwenye meto represent kama watu wako na disability pale. Unapata huo mzee ni physical. So sasa ile meetings inaijano, ndio unapata sasa ile tuko na hiyo public participation. I involve the whole community of persons with disability. Unapata anatafuta watu wako na situation kama yake peke yake. So no way hizi na sasa wakitupangia wanajipangia wao wenyewe, unaona? Ama maybe wanapangia watu wote wale wako na PWD of which we are not included. Yes? As a group.
Thank you. Caregivers are about their priorities. But what happens for caregivers when you want to take advantage? Hatreat mtoto wake vizuri, ama tuseme kama the person is a guardian to this child. Lakini msaada ikitokea ndio anajua kubeba huyo mtoto kusema ati niko na mtoto mlemavu hapa. Now, unajua hizi vitu zina contradict kwa sababu I've seen even parents with children with albinism. Ako na watoto, mmoja ako na albinism, mwingine hana. Lakini huyu mwenye hana ndio ana prioritiziwa. And then msaada ikitokea ndio huyu mtoto sasa ndio maana. Mimi niko na mtoto hapa ni mlemavu, ako na albinism. Huyu mtoto sijui hawezi tembea, huyu hata kama hiyo siku ni kumbeba kwa mgongo, wale physical, atambeba kwa mgongo ndio aende apate msaada.
From the issues raised, a memorandum will be drafted to the Nairobi City County Government to create more advocacy space in the light that they will be taken into consideration to meet the standards which are required for persons living with albinism.
So at the end of the day, we need to come up with a memorandum to the county government of Nairobi, speaking on the top priority issues.
Even as the